leaving things unfinished. This drawing started back in the last weeks of October. I was originally working on a completely different, overly ambitious project, drawing a dynamic arena fight scene with a wolf warrior holding a shield, bracing against the fiery flames of his foe, a sort of javelin-wielding dragon. The piece was originally going to be a sort of Halloween episode to conclude this month-long challenge of creating content during October. And as you can probably tell, seeing that this video is not about that drawing, or being finished in October like it was supposed to be, something went terribly wrong. I got sick and was out for a week. Friggin' In-N-Out Burger food poisoning. This wasn't your average food poisoning of not feeling great, then you throw up once and then feel better afterwards. No, this was continuous throwing up and not being able to eat solid foods for 4 days straight, which was very fun. It was not. I don't get why people think In-N-Out Burger is any good, because there's like only 4 options to choose from, and it's just slight variations on the burgers that they already have. Plus their fries taste like they're freeze-dried and like they've been preserved in salt, which is not that great. So to sum it up, not worth eating there for me and not a fun experience. After about 3 days of recovery, I felt well enough to play some video games, and soon afterwards gave myself the completely healthy mental pep talk of, "You're wasting your time. You know you could be drawing right now, right? Playing games is a sorry excuse for not working on your projects. You don't want to disappoint your fanbase, do you?" So after grinding away and getting a little bit of a light headache from it, I ended up with this guy. In the moment, I just wanted to capture how I felt at that time, and that was being in pain and uncomfortable. So I didn't really care about making it look super cool or perfect. And doing that one dynamic pose earlier with the fire-breathing dragon was well enough of a headache, and I didn't want to repeat that process in creating something super complex or going too deep in problem solving because I didn't have the brain power. I was still sick and didn't really want to put the mental effort into doing that. So not a super complicated pose, probably a little stiffer than I would have liked. I do gotta say, I am pretty happy with how the legs came out. Those were fun to work on, and I think I was able to capture that kind of dragon reptilian feel, and the claws were fun to put together and figure out how to place them correctly. Though, on the offhand, I can't say the same for the arms. I didn't completely iron them out. They need a lot more work than I gave them. Because of this, I think in the end I ended up struggling more with the piece in the long run. I didn't think things through or put the effort into making the design solid, but I didn't care. The sketch was cool, and the community I showed it to thought it was cool too. And that was good enough for me to move on to rendering it, which I'll time-lapse through because I haven't completely figured out how to render the scales to a point where I can describe my thought process. Going into this piece, I had the sole goal of answering one question that had been on my mind during its creation. Should you draw when you're sick? My whole motivation for the project was just answering if it was worth it, pushing through the discomfort and trying to create when you don't feel like it, or know you're definitely not going to be on top of your game to create anything good. And for me, at that time, it was a yes. I honestly got tired of sitting in bed being sick, just doom scrolling to spend the time, watching all these other amazing creators creating art, and it made me want to create too. Did the piece end up being everything I wanted it to be? No, it's unfinished. I quit. I took it as far as I could. And sometimes it's okay to leave things unfinished. Honestly, it's barely rendered enough to pull off as the thumbnail. And yeah, a flashy and epic freeze-frame fight scene between two warrior creatures would have been cool for our last video to conclude the challenge, but I feel this video would have a stronger message just showing me sitting down and drawing, because I got everything I needed from it, and I needed to move on to the next big art video or project, and I know I can do so much better. So that's what I'm going to do. If you'd like, you can tag along and join me as I create better artwork and work on my skills. And I'll catch you in the next video.